Hi, welcome back to my channel. I have a couple of Easter-worthy treats that I found and I wanted to make them. So let's get going. So the first one I have today is peanut butter eggs, right? They're everywhere this time of year, getting ready for Easter, and I've made something similar to this before, and it was so good. So I have a couple of tablespoons of softened butter, and then a half a cup of peanut butter. You could do, crunchy, or I just went with creamy. Anyway. And then some powdered sugar. I'll have this recipe linked in the description box down below. So just mix these three things together. By the way, the butter has to be really soft. I don't know if I said that. But just mix these three things together in a bowl until it's, comes out smooth. Then, you have everything really well incorporated together. Let's see. This does take a little bit of working the dough. Not really dough, but anyway. And then after you have it all smooth, then you stick it in the freezer for like 20 minutes or so. Take it out, or 10 minutes actually. Or you can leave it a little longer. Yeah, 10 minutes. And then get out a cookie sheet like this, and then put down a piece of parchment paper. Just like that. These turned out very good. I don't know if you've made these before at home, and I've always loved these particular, peanut butter. There's the scoop. Chocolate treats and that are in the store, and they are so good that I just love making these at home. So you have about a tablespoon of dough. Yes, it is referred to as dough in the recipe. And just put it down on the parchment paper. Just scoop them all out. All of the dough, just scoop it out onto the sheet to begin with. And then I'll show you how to shape them into the egg shape here after I have them scooped out. They're not baked or anything, you're just going to shape them and put them back in the freezer so they can set before you dip them into the warm chocolate. That's all we're doing here. So just put them on the sheet. You don't have to worry about them, too close together or anything. Just, whoops. Drop the bowl on there. Anywho, I can't believe it's almost Easter already. Like, I'm excited for spring though. This time of year, you're just kind of done with the winter and the cold weather, and you're just in the mood for different flavors in your meals, right? Okay. So then I have them all rolled out. So then just use your hands. It's really, really simple, and just kind of press them into egg shape, a rough egg shape. Just like that. You want them to be kind of thick because, you really want to bite down into some nice soft peanut butter in there. You don't, you got to make them kind of a medium thickness, I'd say. Not too thin, not too thick. Because also, they need to be able to hold up to, again, dipping into the warm chocolate. So there's got to be some sort of, support in there. Structure, I guess is what I'm thinking of. It's really easy. These took no time to make at all. You just got to kind of just decide you're going to do it and do it. Okay, so then I have them all pressed out into my egg shapes. This is just the peanut butter. And then I'm going to stick them back into the freezer for just another 10 minutes so they can kind of set and firm up just a little bit. All right, 10 minutes later, there they are. I'm going to take them out. Right there. And now it's time to work with the chocolate. So you can use like chocolate bark if you want, like the melting wafers. I'm just going to use chocolate chips. Just nuke them for just a little bit and stir them until they've melted, and then you're ready to go. So then once your chocolate is melted, however you want to do that, then just put an egg in there with a fork is what I'm using, and just make sure that they're all coated on all sides. And I kind of knock the fork on the side of the bowl to just really kind of get rid of the extra chocolate that is on the egg still. It's a messy little job, of course. But this is so easy, and everybody in my family loves these. They're so good, and they're not too sweet. Of course, there's powdered sugar. They're going to be sweet, of course, but they're just a nice little treat, A little something you could make for Easter if you're having people over and you want to serve kind of, a sweet treat, then this would be a really good thing for you to just kind of throw together, I guess. But like I said, these have been just a favorite of mine. Growing up, I've always loved these kind of candies, and I'm really excited that I have a recipe that works and I can make them anytime I want. So then to decorate, I have these vanilla candy melts, and just melt it in the microwave again. And then I'm just gonna kind of splatter the white chocolate over for a little bit of decoration. Or you could decorate them with little, Easter themed candies if you want, little sprinkles. However you want to do it is fine. You could also add sprinkles to the top of these two, like little candy flowers or Easter bunnies or whatever, just to make it look extra springy. And then after you have them all coated in the chocolate and you're happy with the decorating, then stick them back into the freezer so that the chocolate can set up and cool, and they look like this when they're all done. And they are so delicious. These went really fast in my house. They didn't stick around very long. I'm going to have to make more because I love them. They're so good. Okay, so then moving on to the second little treat that I have, which is a carrot cake poke cake. So you can make this from scratch, but in my case, I'm just going to use a box mix, okay? And I'm going to kind of zhuzh up the box mix with milk instead of water. Just use the recommended measurements on the box, but just substitute milk for the water, and I'm going to also substitute butter for the oil. So this goes in, the cake mix goes in, excuse me. You don't have to put these in any kind of order. This is just what I'm doing. And then here's the milk, or the butter, melted butter. I think it was a third cup of oil, so I just substituted a third cup of melted butter. And then just stir it all together. At this point, I realized I forgot the eggs. So in goes 3 eggs to the mix. And just mix it on up. And then you just bake it according to the box directions. I think it was 350 for about 22 to 25 minutes, I think. I don't have the box right in front of me, but I'm almost 100% sure that's what it is. Just put it into a 9x13 dish. Make sure you spray it before you put your batter in. Also, there's directions on the box. to kind of zhuzh up this box mix even more with fresh carrots and pineapple. Sounds like a good idea. I did not do that, of course, but you know, that'd be something to try. So we're just smoothing the batter into the 9x13 baking dish and baked it according to box directions, brought out the box cake, and then I'm just taking a chopstick here and just putting a bunch of holes into this cake. Like that. And then for the next part, you could make the caramel sauce homemade if you want. It's not hard to do, but I just decided to just buy the bottled stuff. So I couldn't find the recommended caramel sauce in the recipe, but I just brought home some just plain old caramel sauce. And you just kind of squeeze it all over the top, and the sauce will seep down into those holes, and the warm cake will just drink up this caramel sauce. Yeah, you don't want to wait until this cake is totally cooled, but you don't want it to be like really, really hot right out of the oven either. So just let it cool down for just a little bit so it's still warm to the touch, and so that the caramel sauce will soak into the cake. And now we're moving on to the frosting. So it's about 6 ounces of softened cream cheese already in my bowl. And then I have 1 8-ounce tub of Cool Whip that I defrosted in my fridge, just so it could mix in a little easier with the cream cheese. Okay. And then for just a little bit more sweetness, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of sugar. I think I did that already. Or maybe not. Anyway, I know it's in there. I did put it in there, but so just using an electric mixer, just go ahead and mix together the sugar, the cream cheese, and the Cool Whip until it's smooth. Very simple. This cake was very easy. See, there's the sugar. Almost forgot it. It's okay. But yeah, just mix this until it's smooth. As you can see, it's kind of lumpy here with the cream cheese in there. But, you know, it turned out pretty smooth. And then here's the cake. I let it cool down completely before I decided to frost it. I didn't want it to melt the frosting. So I'm showing you the cinnamon here because I decided at the last second to add it into the cream cheese and Cool Whip frosting. So, and then I'll just spread it all over the cake. Just like that. Give it one last little mix. Oh, I decided I needed some more cinnamon in there. So I'll just add that in. And now it's time to frost the cake. So yeah, this would be a good thing to bring for Easter, or if you're having people over. I mean, or just, you know, a good spring dessert. That's, you know, either way, whatever you want to do. But I just thought it was kind of went with the theme of, you know, springtime and Easter. But so I wanted to share this. Normally I would make carrot cake from scratch, but I just kind of wanted to show a really easy kind of shortcut way to make this poke cake. So, but, you know, from scratch is always probably a better choice, but this cake is very good if you're not into baking very much, but you want to still bring something. This is a really easy cake to put together. And then just for a little extra added decoration, I decided to top it with some more caramel sauce. And that way you know that the caramel sauce is in this cake too. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. I know it's not that long or anything, but these treats were just really easy to put together and, you know, very good things for Easter which is coming up next month already. Can't believe it. My daughter thought to use a toothpick and kind of make a swirly design in the caramel, which kind of made it look a little extra fancy. Look at that. And then we'll just put the lid on, put it in the fridge when we're not enjoying it. And here we go. This was really delicious and decadent and very good. And I hope you try it. So again, recipes will be in the description box below for you. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Hope you like it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.